Mesa, California, at the Sunset 17 studio, it's time for Sunset Rewind with Kevin and Moe.
Dude, you gotta love InXS. That's funny. That's a little foreshadowing because we will address InXS in the fan zone at some point today. Just a little heads up there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yes, we will.
Good stuff.
All right, Sunset Rewind with you. Another week of games in the books. So 5 games in the books here. By a week for Marina, Newport Harbor, CDM, and Huntington Beach. But Los Al, Edison. Oh, Los Al, Edison, and CDM did play. I'm sorry. That's right. Fountain Valley had the bye. So let's get into it.
Yeah, weird week. A lot of teams are on the bye because of the whole league situation. So there's only 3 games to break down, but there were some interesting ones. Nonetheless, let's start off in Newport. Corona Del Mar would be hosting Trabuco Hills. They came into this game undefeated, but they weren't going to leave the game undefeated. One of the reasons why Dorset Stecker on the end around is going to get in the end zone, tying the game up in the first quarter. So Trabuco Hills would strike first, but CDM came right back. And then again, Dorset Stecker is going to run right down the middle. Don't get enough of a jam on him. He's going to split 3 defenders. So Max Ashed
nice
finds
catch.
him, hits him right on the money. So it's 14-10 CDM in the first. They would take the lead. And this was the guy who had a record night, not only figuratively.
Yeah, I heard he had a couple hundred yards. Maybe?
Literally, yeah. Wyatt Lucas is going to go off the left, get into the end zone, and this is just a foreshadowing of what was going to be a monster night. So it's 21-10 CDM, playing good ball early on. And Scott Anderson, the linebacker, is going to read the quarterback. He's going to scrape, come up, force that quarterback to fumble the ball. He kind of panicked there. CDM would recover, so an opportunity for Trabuco Hills to pull within 4 was wasted because of the CDM defense. And then Wyatt Lucas is going to take it off tackle, and he is gone. Look at that. You need a baton. It looks like a relay race. You got 9 Trabuco defenders. They're nowhere near him. And just like that, 28-10 CDM looking good early on. Trabuco Hills wouldn't go away. They'd come back. They'd get a touchdown from the running back. So they'd get in the end zone, make it 28-17. They're hanging around. Won't quite go away. So CDM would answer. 4th and 1. Wyatt Lucas is going to follow those big tight ends in that offensive line.
Yeah, look at that formation there. Coach had to draw that up.
So 4th down and on.
Doesn't Trabuco know that run's going left the way they're lined up there?
You'd think. Dorset Stecker. He's going to run a 5-yard curl. He's going to catch it, break
Nicely
one tackle,
done.
Beat the defenders into the end zone. So really CDM offensively all night long kept the pressure on. At that point, it was 35-17 going into the half. In the second half, Trabuco Hills would come out, get a score.
Yeah, they're not going to go away. Trabuco Hills is a great team.
Well, no, they were undefeated. Remember, that was a close one last year, if I'm not mistaken. So, they got a good team. But one of the way to
You don't get the 4-0 in Southern California high school football by mistake.
Okay, Tucker Murray, one way to rip the hearts out of another team is after they score. Special teams, going to find those blockers, get to the outside, take it down the sideline. Won't quite get in, but sets his team up in the red zone. So now, CDM looking good, answering that touchdown by Trabuco Hills. And from there, guess who?
Wow. Again.
Wyatt Lucas, up the gut. He's going to hit the circle spin button. Gets up in there, breaks a couple tackles, and lighten them up. 42 points. They're still not done. Now this time it's going to be on defense. Remember Ryan Rakunas? He was one of your on-the-radar guys.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's off the radar because they know exactly who he is. He's
good ball player.
Sit with that receiver, jump in front of it. The quarterback's got to see that.
Oh, wow.
Gets the pick.
Nice job, Ryan.
And on the very next play, guess who? Wyatt Lucas. On the quick pitch to the outside. He's going to cut back in, break a tackle. Break his dad's single-game rushing record.
You don't say.
In fact, his dad, about 35 years ago, the same field at one time had the record. Then wasn't it broken again by someone else in
2011 or something?
Yes, Eric Fisher.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know how many people out there have a father-son combo where they both have a rushing record. That's pretty cool. Brett Clemmer coming off the edge. He had 4 sacks. Big night.
I think it was 5.
Was it 5? Okay. He's going to take an inside charge. He's not the contained man, but gets the safety. So Breck had a good night. He would close out the scoring, the 51-38. CDM wins the ball game. Great night for Wyatt Lucas. I just want to give a couple shout-outs. Well, let's do the stats real quick, and then we'll give my shout-outs.
So stats for the game, the top performers for the Sea Kings. The leading passer, of course, was Max Nichette. He was 18 of 24 on attempts. He had a 75% completion rate, so that's getting it done. Threw for 145 yards and threw for 3 touchdowns.
Doing his job.
Receiving, as usual, Dorsett Stecker, 10 catches, 70 yards. That should be 7 yards per catch. The math's a little off there. He had 3 touchdowns. Dorsett is just like Mr. Automatic.
Was not a math major. The funny thing is, those stats right there are player of the week type stats.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. When you got a
Wyatt
guy who just set the
Lucas.
school record, you just got one-upped.
29 carries, 352 yards. That's 12.14 yards per carry. 3 touchdowns. And as you said, set the Corona Del Mar High School football rushing record, which was once held by his father. And then I read something interesting in the register.
The pizza thing?
Wyatt said he buys his linemen a steak every week for like 100 yards or whatever it is. But he had 352 this week, so he literally said, I might have to buy those guys 3 steaks. So that's
Hey, Wyatt,
5 times 3, 15 steaks.
Get your checkbook out.
Yeah.
Just don't take them to Arches or you'll be taken out alone.
Well worth it, though. I'm sure Wyatt's not complaining after a game like that when those linemen were working for him. And congratulations, Wyatt. And, number 2, the Jack Elliott Award winner, getting it done on the field and off the field. Just a complete football player, good person. Congratulations,
By the way,
Wyatt.
I want to apologize because Dole didn't put the CDM helmet on the table. That's kind of a big part of our show. But here, I'm going to give a couple shout-outs. Damian Zeno Herrera, Landon Rucker, Anthony Hastings, and Judah Snow, and Aziz Alta. I know I'm going to blow this up. Wajuri. Tell me,
Alta
Taryn.
Wajuri?
Yeah. Well, anyway,
I probably butchered it.
Wyatt's going to go down in the record books, but you guys were every much a part of that record. And you can say, as an offensive line, as a unit, you were part of a record-breaking night. So that's something you guys will always have. Also, how about a shout-out to the running back coach? My man, A.A. Ron Stecker, a.k.a. Aaron Stecker, the running back coach, and the O-line coach, Cassius Clay Kennedy, a.k.a. Clay Kennedy. Great job by the coaching staff, the O-line, just a complete team effort, and great win.
And I got some additional information real quick.
Lay it on me.
Obviously, Taryn knows he picked Trabuco Hills, but
Taryn, what the heck?
you're not alone in that. I want to bring something up. Cal Preps has an algorithm, all this computer stuff where they predict games and stats and whatnot. So last week, going into that game, the projection of that game was Trabuco Hills had a 73% chance to win. Corona Del Mar a 27% chance. Cal Preps actually predicted that Trabuco Hills would win that game 26-17. But Corona Del Mar won 51-38. So I think you got to give Taryn a little slack there, Coach Padios, and let him off the hook a little bit. He was
Picked against the Sea Kings. I hope those
see,
guys let you know about that.
I got your back, Taryn.
Yeah, I mean, let me just say, Trabuco Hills, when they had to settle for that field goal, I thought that was pretty much game right there. I'm like, oh, you don't settle for field goals against CDM. And CDM just laid up 21 unanswered on them. And they contained the run game well. And they put pressure on Tristan Zale. And Ryan Luce did not have his best night in terms of receiving. But Zale, to his credit, he got the other receivers involved. So I think it was just one of those nights, and I think Trabuco Hills was kind of due for a clunker. They still managed to put up 38 points, which is still pretty good. My only thing is that against a team like CDM, you got to play clean ball all night.
All right. Well, speaking of clunkers, and one thing I didn't see coming, Dole, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
Pull out that Losel helmet.
Wait, the interview?
Oh, thanks. Gosh, Taryn, this is why you need a raise. Dole, you're fired. I need a support staff.
Thanks, Taryn.
Taryn, you just got promoted. Wyatt Lucas. Yeah, how do we forget this guy? Thank you, Taryn. We ready? Sound up.
All right, this is Taryn Rodriguez of Sunset Rewind with Wyatt Lucas, running back for Corona Del Mar football, following his team's 51-38 win over Trabuco Hills. All right, Wyatt, big win for you all as he snapped a 2-game skid over a talented and previously undefeated Trabuco Hills team. What did it take to beat a scrappy Trabuco Hills team?
I mean, for us, it was really establishing the run game, which we did tonight. We had the ground and pound. Love the O-linemen. They played their ass off. I think I didn't even get touched till after 5 yards. So they played amazing. Receivers played really good, catching the ball. The yak was crazy, but yeah.
You had well over 300 yards, and you broke the single-game Corona Del Mar football rushing yards record. What does that mean for you, breaking a record like that?
I mean, it's a huge deal to me. I'm in a competitive family. My dad played at CDM, had a couple records, so it feels good to break some of his personal records and be able to have that on him,
Now, the defense also kind of stepped up. Brett Clemmer had 5 sacks. What can you say about Breck, and who else stood out to you?
I think Brett. I love Breck. That's like one of my boys. He's been my friend since like freshman year. I go to church with him, like a brother to me. And Tucker Murray had a couple of great plays, going back to the ball and the trick play, breaking it up. So overall, we played really well.
Next week, you start Bravo League play at San Juan Hills, another talented opponent. What's it going to take down those guys?
I mean, we just got to come into the game with our heads held high, run hard, get the ball going, and just establish a run game so we can open up in the pass game and stay together as a team.
And lastly, did you watch Sunset Rewind's Fan Zone edition or the previous show or the most recent show?
I think a little maybe.
Well, if you did watch the prediction, I will gladly own up to it.
Yeah,
I picked against y'all. I'm sorry. But anyway, congrats on the win, Wyatt. Always a pleasure to talk with you.
Yes,
I apologize for picking against y'all. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Wow, what a game. What a game.
Taryn, great interview, but you need to control the crowd in the background because that little dude was photobombing Wyatt on a record-setting night. Well, I do. It's upsetting. Anyway, you did save me, so you're off the hook.
Everyone literally, y'all gotta have that little fun factor in it. It can't just be all fun, boring and business.
All right, fair enough. But remember being like in junior high and elementary school, going to the varsity games,
Yeah.
how fun that was, running around at halftime, throwing the ball.
I remember being a ball boy when I was in 6th grade for Laguna Hills High School. It was
nice.
great.
Who was the head coach?
That year? Was it? Oh, Ed Adams, right?
No, he was our AP at El Toro. I don't know.
No, I don't. God, I forget.
You forgot.
I was on the. I got the job because of Coach Clark, who was the O-line coach. I was friends with the son.
Sweet. Yeah. All right, let's get this over with. Grab me the Los Al helmet, please, and congratulations again to CDM. Great win. I'm posting scores of this Los Al game, and my phone is blowing up. People are like, "What is going on?" I didn't see this coming. Man, sometimes it just isn't your night. Los Al was about as uncharacteristic as they've ever been. They just, sometimes you just can't get out on your own way. They were struggling on offense and defense, but let's just...
It happens.
Let's just go through the plays. Serna, a team they played last year in the playoffs, this was a revenge game, came out and they were just kind of in that zone. You talk a lot about being in the zone. Well, sometimes there's the anti-zone where you just can't do anything right. And I just think that's kind of what happened. Alonzo Sparza, he knows better, just throws off his back foot. And, Kenny Rogers once said, you got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him.
You just quote the gambler?
I quoted the gambler, and he took a gamble that didn't work off.
Nicely done.
14-0 early on, and just Serna kept the pressure on all night long.
Serna's good.
Now, Los Al did have a couple plays. I want you to watch Devon Daniels, the defensive lineman. He's going to rush the quarterback, and instead of just watching what happens downfield, he reverses field, hustles, there's going to be a fumble, and he recovers it. So he's the defensive lineman rushing the quarterback and then gets into the secondary to get a fumble recovery. So giving Los Al a chance, but that chance will be short-lived. He's getting Alonzo throwing off that back foot down the middle. You just can't do that. There was a defender in his face, but nonetheless, another pick six. I don't know if that's ever happened in his career. But
No, can't imagine.
Those things happen.
Yeah.
So it's 21-0 early
football.
on. And just, more Serna. I was really struggling to find the Los Al highlights because there really weren't any. So Serna would go into the half, 28-0. Now, Los Al would come out in the second half with a little spark. Lenny Ibarra would get his team going. The kickoff return, he wouldn't return it for a touchdown, but sometimes special teams can spark a comeback. So he got the team set up. They're excited. Again, Lenny Ibarra, watch this kick out by the guard. Just pancakes that defender. And they basically came out in that second half and just pounded it. Run, another run by Lenny. So this was kind of the Los Al I thought we would see. It was just too little too late. And then, of course, they would finish off the drive again. Feed the beast. Lenny's going to take it up the middle. So Los Al at that point would make it 28-7. We're thinking maybe a comeback. It was stacked against them, but it wasn't going to happen because on the next series, Serna, they just go deep, and the defender's with them.
That's great coverage. I mean, what can you do there?
It was just Serna was on that night. And again, I can't explain it, but it happens. And there really wasn't a lot to show. 42-7 would be the final. Whether you lose by 100 or 1, a loss is a loss. So it is what it is. Los Al's still 4-2.
I mean, you got to give Serna credit. I mean, they held the Griffins to 96 yards rushing and 92 yards passing. I can't remember the last time that the Griffins were sub 100 yards in passing or rushing. I mean, that's give Serna credit.
And here's the thing. when you win a big win, you don't want to get too high.
Yeah.
And when you have a brutal loss, you don't want to get too low. They're still 4-2. They had a bad night. I mean, I can't spin it any other way, and that happens. There's times you come out and you have a great night.
So there's, thousands of schools in California, according to Cal Preps right now. Sarah's like number 53. I mean, they're up there. They're a really good school, and they've always been that way. I remember in passing league, like in 2011, we played them when I was at Cypress, and like half their team was going to USC. They've always had a great program there at Sarah.
We had that beast running back last year.
Yeah, they're
I'll
good.
just say this. In defensive, and I'm not making excuses, for Los Al and even Edison, San Clemente, and Mission are in the same kind of dilemma. When you play 7 non-league games, first of all, nobody wants to play these teams, so they're having to play a ringer week after week after week.
It's tough.
And to get up for 7 non-league games week after week, that's tough, because usually you play 5 non-league games, and you're kind of not getting over it, but maybe you're losing focus. But then league starts, and you're like reborn, and it's a refresh.
Yep.
These guys just have to week after week have to battle it. It gets tough. And they still got another non-league game to go. They're going down to, I believe,
game.
Helix, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's
Lincoln.
Lincoln, thank you, Terry.
San Diego.
Edison's got Helix. But
Correct.
you're just playing all these non-league games. This can happen. So it is what it is. But they did have some stats. Cole, would you please pull up my monitor? So after the second half, they wanted to rest Alonzo because it's clear they weren't coming back. So Wyatt Lucas, the backup quarterback,
Brought him in. He was 6 of 9 on attempts, which is good completion rate. Had 82 yards passing, averaged 13.66 yards per completion. So he might be someone we look forward to in the future, seeing as the Griffins quarterback.
Yeah.
Lenny Ibarra led in receiving. Only had 2 catches, but made the most of them, 61 yards, averaging 30.5 yards per catch.
Per catch.
And then, of course, Lenny led them in rushing as well. 15 carries, 75 yards, had the touchdown. And a 5-yard per carry average is pretty darn good in any football game, but especially against a great team like Sarah. So, the Griffins, they were trying. Sarah's just, it was Sarah's night. That's it.
Couldn't state it any better. You're absolutely right. Okay. That's done. Moving on. Last game of the week. Pull up that Edison Charger helmet, please. All right, Edison on a little bit of a winning streak after those 2 early 1-point losses.
I was at this game, and the atmosphere was great. They did a salute to the military before the game. They brought out those all-black uniforms. It was really cool.
So Edison taking on the defending CIF and state champions, Serna. Early on, guess who? Look at this old line, by the way. I mean, they don't touch Julius. He gets through and just breaks through at the speed.
Yep.
The Sultan from Seattle getting it done early.
Easy
Edison will
money.
take a 6-0 lead. They'd miss the PAT.
They did.
I like to blame Nico, but it was a high snap. So Nico, you're off the hook. This is not a Bam.
Nico made a field goal later on.
We'll talk about that. Right? More Julius Gillick, the O-line, giving him the space he needs. Breaks 1 tackle, shakes another, gets to the outside. Fighting to get in that end zone. So early on, Edison would jump on out to an early lead, 13-0, looking good. And then the defense. Now, you mentioned this was a blackout. I love the unis, but I hate the fact I cannot see the numbers.
No, you can't. No.
I zoomed it in. I took a picture. I couldn't see it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, on film, it's tough to see. I mean, I'm on the sidelines, so for me, it's easy. But you're right. You cannot see those numbers.
So if you guys put the names of these players making the plays, I'll be more than happy to give them their love on next week's show. But I just couldn't see it. So this is a great defensive concept. This guy's going to blow up the off guard who's pulling. The corner's going to come off the edge, disrupt the running back, force him to come back inside, and the little middle linebacker is going to clean up. It's just great team defense. Disrupt the guard, redirect the running back.
That 5 technique might have been Conrad Barrera.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was.
Well, put it in the comments because I can't tell. And then more Edison, Jake Mincher in the second quarter. It's going to run right up the middle, break it to the outside. Jake Mincher, he was on the show.
Yep.
Can't get in the end zone, but is going to set his team up in the red zone. So Edison's still looking
good.
good.
He did the Hot Ones challenge.
Yeah, I heard that. Didn't agree with him. Okay. Watch Shea Summers. He is going to crack on this linebacker. I mean, this is a knockout blow. They're going to swing Julius out in the flat, but watch this crack. Good night.
Oh!
I mean, he puts him down. Julius gets in the end zone for his third touchdown. So at that point, it's 20-0 Edison. Starting to pull away. More defense this time. I think this might be Barrera, but again, I can't see.
Barrera's 54.
Serna's going to try to roll out, so this left tackle is going to reach him, but then he's getting help from the fullback or the remaining back to double team him. But he beats the tackle, then comes under the back, so beats a double team, sacks the quarterback. So
nicely done.
Just sound defense all night long. And then Edison would try to go for a 4th and goal, wouldn't get it, but they'd set up shop on the one
Jeremiah
coming out.
Ross.
So watch Jeremiah Ross.
With the 2-pointer.
The outside backer is going to blow up everything in here. The back's going to try to bounce it, but the corner and Jeremiah Ross are just going to come in and clean up. Nice job by that defensive end, and boom. Stuffs the Serna running back in the end zone. And Serna's got a really good running game. So 22-0 still in the second. Edison's starting to pull away, get control of this game. And right before the half, Thompson's going to hit Jake Minter on the corner route. Sam Thompson filling in for Niamata, who was out. He had a good game himself.
Yeah, Save was just resting, getting ready for league.
All right, so it's 29-7 at halftime.
Had a
Edison's
little,
in control.
trying to get healthy.
So Serna trying to get back in this in the second half is going to have a 15-play, 80-yard, 71-yard drive. It's going to go down to 4th down. They're going to go for it. And can't make it happen. I mean, you go 15 plays, pretty much eat the whole third quarter, have nothing to show for it.
That was like a long drive. It was funny. People were saying that on the sideline as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
and so at this point, Sam Thompson, good reason to read that defensive end. He comes in hard, so he pulls it. Good read, and then watch Shea Summers. This guy does a good job blocking. Not a kill block, but just enough to give him another 15, 20 yards, so that's a nice job by the receivers. Edison does as good a job of anybody with the receivers blocking downfield. And then to close out scoring, Nico, bammer from the left hash is going to put it in.
Boom.
Nice kick, Nico. So that would be the final 32-21. Edison would go on to win it.
Edison is just getting hot at the right time. And then when Save can, rest up and get healthy, and Sam Thompson comes in and they don't miss a beat. I mean, they're beating Serna. That's a defending CIF and state champion, like you said.
We saw the beatdown they gave CDM last year. That's a good team.
And props to Sam Thompson, too. He's, staying at Edison. You talk about a guy who could, start at a lot of places. He's a good kid.
And that did that. I mean, a lot of these quarterbacks are saying, why don't I stay where I'm at already? I already know the scheme. I just got to wait to get my opportunity, and they're making the most of it. So you're right. All right, let's talk some stats.
Yeah, let's see what Edison did. So obviously, their leading receiver was Aiden DiGiacomo, had 5 catches, 63 yards. Go ahead.
Taryn,
help me, Taryn.
DiGiacomo.
DiGiacomo.
Is he the sophomore?
I can't confirm that off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure he's the sophomore.
Yeah, he's a dude.
Yeah.
He's going to be, him and Thompson are going to be a nice 1-2 combo going forward.
5 catches, 63 yards, averaging 12.6 a catch. So when you're a quarterback and your receiver is going to get you 12-plus yards a throw, you got to love that. Sam Thompson, 12 of 19, 63% completions. Went over 200 yards passing, 210, and had, of course, 2 touchdowns thrown. Did a great job leading the Chargers. And then, of course, the leading rusher.
What a shock. I didn't see this coming.
Julius Gillick, 17 carries, 155 yards, 9.12 per carry, 2 touchdowns rushing, and he caught 1 receiving. So just getting it done.
Sultan from
In
Seattle.
all aspects of the offense. And he didn't even really play a whole heck of a lot the second half. So, I mean, the Chargers, it was 32-21, but there was like one point in that game where it's 32-7. Serna kind of got some late scores. So the Chargers, there was like never really a doubt that they were going to win that game. They're just
they're on a hot streak, looking good. They're home next week.
Serna deserves a lot of credit. Well-coached team. Their guys flying around the field, and they traveled well. They had a good crowd there, so I give a lot of props to
Sam
Serna.
Thompson
a lot of respect.
Let's get it from somebody who's actually in the
Hello,
game.
this is Dean Ferguson with JP West Media. I'm here with quarterback Sam Thompson. Hey, great win. What was the week's preparation coming up to the game?
So we knew they were a little bit of an undersized team, but they were quick and they showed a lot of different looks. They almost looked like a different team in every game that they played, so we really didn't know what we were going to get. So we had to prepare for multiple different things and see what they ended up giving us. They ended up giving us, a lot of press man, try to stop this guy right here, great running back. So we had to throw the ball a little bit more, but I think we had a great week of practice seeing all types of things, so we were prepared.
As a young quarterback, do you see yourself as a leader of the team?
I do see myself as an emerging leader of the team. I try to play my part. I don't try to do too much, but so maybe not as much in a vocal way, but in a way where I show up every single day ready to work, you know what I mean?
Who are some teammates that you want to highlight to help secure the victory?
Jake Minter, huge touchdown snag. Julius Gillick, all the linemen. Devin Blake, Kevin Carter, JP, Tay, all my boys up in the trenches. Did a great job. I think I didn't even get sacked tonight. Everyone just did a great job. It was a team effort. They were not a bad team at all.
Great win. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so the Chargers moved to 4-2. Boy, they are getting hot at the right time. They just, not to overlook anything. They obviously got that Helix game next week.
Who's a ringer from San Diego.
Which is a payback game for them, too. Who went to Helix football-wise?
Was it Reggie Bush?
Yeah, and Alex Smith. And who else basketball-wise?
Walton?
Yeah.
Nice.
You got it, man.
Rocky Wong's separated birth brother.
Saw
By the
Rocky
way,
at the game the other day. Yeah.
Can
I wanna
confirm
give a big-
Aiden DiGiacomo is a sophomore.
he is?
Okay.
Yeah, no, that guy's good. They're Edison, man. They find the dudes. Big shout out to JP Media. Send us those interviews.
And the headshots.
Yeah, if you guys need a good photographer for headshots, team stuff, whatever, look up JP Media. He's kind of the Huntington Beach guy, but
Yeah.
he goes to a lot of the games we go to, but we're kind of working hand in hand. So him and his team do a great job, and we appreciate everything he sends us.
All right, so another week in the books. Only 3 games that week.
Yeah, short episode.
Like I said, Fountain Valley Marina,
Yeah.
Newport Harbor, Huntington had buys, but they're back to action this week, so we'll look forward to seeing them.
So the Fan Zone's going to air tomorrow. We got some special guests. Should we tease it right now? Harbor guys, a couple
go.
brothers.
Go
First
ahead.
time we've had a brother combo coming in.
The Stremick brothers, Jackson and Sammy, will be joining us in the Fan Zone coming up shortly here, so look forward to that.
Let's give a shout out to the California Showcase.
California Showcase coming up February 22nd at the Great Park in Irvine. You're interested in playing some college football and you're not a D1 guy? Well, there's still plenty of opportunities for you. Go ahead and show up to that. You can go to cashowcase.com and get all that information there. Great opportunity for you to keep on playing in college and get a college education. Win-win situation.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, I guess we're good, right?
That's another week in the books. Great job breaking down the film, Coach. Sunset Rewind. On to the Fan Zone. Thanks for joining us. Take care. God bless. We'll talk to you soon.